welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing very nice. I'm sending a lot of hugs and positivity to all of you. Hi, if you're new, welcome to the channel. I really hope you enjoy the content, and if you do, please do consider subscribing. I'm literally sweating from taking all of these books out of all of the shelves. Let's not say much. I think the title, the thumbnail, all of this setting has said enough. I'm going to be reviewing every single book that I read in the year of 2023 in one line, along with the stars that I have given them. I have not included the non-fiction books, so I think there'll be like 5 lesser books. Let's begin the video. Starting with my tiny pile of January books. I kicked off the year with A Horse Walks Into the Bar by David Grossman, which is a crazy out-of-the-box book, and I'm still not able to decide whether I love it or I hate it, but I remember giving it 4 stars. I think I'll reduce it to 3.5 stars, but it was definitely one hell of an experience within itself. Questions You Want to Ask Me by Michelle Falkoff is the story of a teenager trying to find his mom. It was really nice and emotional, but way too juvenile for me. I don't know how many stars I gave it, but I'll give it like a 3 star right now. On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Wong is an exceptional read. The writing is out of the world. More than 5, 6, 7, 10 stars. It's magical. The entire Shiva trilogy, what an amazing read. I remember giving it, I think, the second book 5 stars. Overall though, it is a 5-star series for sure. What an amazing experience, and it's great for beginners. Angels and Demons by Dan Brown, which I have completely forgotten that I read this year. I think that says enough. It was an amazing experience when I read it, but now I have forgotten about it. I remember giving it 5 stars, but I think I'll bring it down to 4 now. Another book I read is The Body Myth, which I don't have right now, which is the story of this one person who has a mental health problem, and it's just a weird dynamic between 3 people and relationships, and that too like romantic relationships. It was weird, but the writing style was gorgeous, so I gave it 4 stars. Moving on to February, Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey was my first smut, my first this sort of a book that was a romance, and I stayed up till 5 AM to finish this book. I gave it a 3.5 stars, I guess, but now I'll increase it to 4 stars. It was actually genuinely fun. Paper Towns by John Green is one of my all-time favorites. I love it so much from the perspective of a teenager. You guys know I love it, and the philosophical side of it was amazing. Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. Oh yeah, all of the books that I have talked about in my 23 top reads or my 3 to 4 stars book, I'm not gonna go over them a lot. I'm just gonna skim over them because I've talked about them way too much at this point. This is one of the top reads of 2023. Peach Read by Emily Henry, yet again I think is a 3 to 4 star read of 2023. Really enjoyed it. Cleopatra and Frankenstein, top reads of 2023. Cursed Bunny, weirdly I have forgotten to talk about it in any video, but it's just so weird because I loved this book so much. A collection of short stories that are bizarre and out of the world while talking about social institutions. One of the best books that I have read in 2023. I did give it 5 stars. The Maid by Nita Prose is one of the best cozy mysteries ever. I think this is also in the 3 to 4 stars video. Amazing. First book I read in Feb actually was You've Reached Sam, which I have let go of because it was just not a good read at all. I understand some people love it, and I do see the potential of it, but it was just not the best book that I read. Next came March, and it was one of the best reading months that I had. This is a non-fiction, but I'm still talking about it because it just felt like a story to me, and it is I Want to Die But I Want to Eat Tekbokki by Baek Sihi and translated by Anton Her, and I love Anton Her's translation. By the way, Cursed Bunny is also translated by Anton Her. It's a story of this one person who's going through mild depression and anxiety again and again, but she does not know what is exactly going on, so she decides to take therapy. One of the best books that I read. I think I'm gonna give it like 4 stars. Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy, which is in my top reads of 2023. Need not say much about it. Yes, No, Maybe So, a YA romance, which yet again is in my top reads of 2023. The Love Wager by Lynn Painter is a book that I forgot to mention in the 3 to 4 stars video because it was actually genuinely an amazing adult romance with barely any spice. I love Lynn Painter's writing. I will read anything that she publishes. Give it a 4 stars. The Roughest Draft is a story of 2 authors who hate each other but are in a confined space because they have to finish one last book. I loved the angst. I loved the pacing. I loved the poetic writing style. One of the best adult romances with no spice and slow burn. Definitely a 5 to 6 star read. How to Kill Men and Get Away with It by Katie Brent was such an enjoyable read when I read it, but yet again it has not stuck with me. The best thing about this book, I must say, is the cover. It is so amazing. It was a cathartic experience. I think I'll give it like a 3 to 3.5 stars. And then there were None by Agatha Christie, was gifted to me by hubby. Thank you so much, because I am so grateful to have this experience in my hand, have this experience in my life. I loved this book so much. much. I don't know how. I literally again forgot to put it in my top 23 reads of 2023, but I'm telling you now, it was so good, especially for the time when it was written. In 5 stars. Set on You by Amy Lee or Amy Leah is a Fitstagrammer romance, and it was actually a very fun, nice read. The best part was that I got it from a bookstore after doing a lot of browsing in the bookstore, and I had so much fun with it. I remember that experience forever, and it sort of started my obsession with romance, which you will see because I went on a romance binge after this. 3.5 stars. The Girl Who Drank the Moon is one of the most magical books that I have read. It is about this little girl, and it just reminded me of how magical the world can be. And it's not directly done this, but maybe, just maybe, this is the book that started my fascination with fantasy. A 5-star read. Another book I read in my romance binge was The No-Show by Beth O'Leary, which I think the writing was really beautiful, but just not a romance that I was looking for at that time. And whenever I think about that book, I don't have good feelings. That's all I'll say. I think I'll give it 3 stars. Alex, I was my romance binge. Next came April. Why can't I find the April pile? Oh, it's here. Okay. It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey is the best Tessa Bailey book that I have read the entire year. I've had very varying experiences when it comes to Tessa Bailey books, but when it hits a very spicy, smutty romance with a lot of nice, cozy, romantic moments. I love this book so much. A 4.5 stars. Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. After Yes, No, Maybe So, I think is the best YA romance that I enjoyed the whole year. The fluffiness, the innocence, I loved it so much. The Friends to Enemies to Lovers, a highly recommended book. 5 stars. Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, top reads of 2023. Begin Again by Emma Lord. Emma Lord is a new author that I read this year, and I was completely astonished by how much I love her writing style. I can't wait to read any other book that she has already written, and for the books that are about to come in 2024. Highly recommend. I've talked too much about it. I just love this book so much. I think I gave it 4 stars, but I probably will bump it up to 5 because I love it so much. The Kiss Curse by Erin Sterling was a good experience when I read it, but yet again I have completely forgotten about it. I forgot that I have read it the whole year. So 3 stars. Circe by Madeline Miller. I just could not wait to read another book by Madeline Miller after reading Song of Achilles, and this one was even better than Song of Achilles when it comes to the writing style. It's not very plot driven, and so it was a little slow here and there, but one of the best reads ever. I think I gave it 4.5 stars. The Boy at the Back of the Class was one of the best books that I read the entire year, set from the perspective of an 8 or 9-year-old child who's just trying to make this one boy at the back of the class smile. That is it, and it was so insanely good that it reminded me of what actually matters when you are a human being and the kind of things that I want to put out in the world. 6, 7, a million stars. The entire Heartstopper series, so vulnerable, so warm. I love Alice Oseman. All of these 3 books. Can't wait to collect all 3 together, or actually all 6, the hardcover of all of these 6 books. 6, 7 million star series. Oh, actually it's a top read of 2023. I did not have to say all of that. A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair, which sometimes here and there just hits me sometimes that I read this book, and it was actually good. The story of Persephone and Hades, one of my most favorite couples in the world. The opposites attract, enemies to lovers, everything. So good, but it's set in the modern world, and that took away from the story for me. 3.5 stars. Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I gave it away because it was one of the worst books that I read in 2023. Not fun at all. The writing style was really good, which is why I gave Riley Sager another chance in one of these other piles. But Lock Every Door, the ending sucked. It sucked. That's all. Alone with You in the Ether, one of my top reads for 2023. It's with my brother right now, forcing him to read it. The Fine Print by Lauren Asher is a romance that I read as an audiobook. It was not the best book ever, but it did make me want to read Final Offer in one of these other months, so it was good enough. 3.5 stars. Secret Diary of Adrian Mole, 13 and a half, was a very funny read, very unique. I have not read anything like that, but yet again it did not stick with me. I think it's meant for a very niche audience. I don't exactly fit in it, but I can see why it is so amazing. 3.5 to 4 stars. The Phone Box at the Edge of the World was a book that I enjoyed so much when I read it, but now I I don't. 2.5 stars because there were some parts that I genuinely made me feel sad and things like that, but apart from that, nothing out of the world. Then came May and I did my Agatha Christie shelf at that time, so I've read a lot of books by Agatha Christie. I started with Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine, which was so good. I did not know if I'm going to enjoy it or not, and I read it because of Ruthwig, because this is one of his favorite books and I must thank him because I genuinely loved it. 5 stars. Woman Eating by Claire Corda was another 5 star, which keeps oscillating between 5 stars and 6 stars, but it was definitely an experience relating to a 20-something-year-old vampire. It was a very weird experience, so good, and it's like peeling an onion if you want to peel the onion apart from enjoying the story. So it was really good. Girl Goddess Queen, I love this book so much. It's there in my 3 to 4 star reads. I love it so much. For the Agatha Christie shelf, I had The Mysterious Affair at Styles, which is written almost 102 years ago, which was crazy that Agatha Christie just took on a bet and wrote this book and then it turned out to be so good. Death in the Clouds, which I think is an underrated Agatha Christie book because I don't see a lot of people talking about it, but it was actually genuinely amazing and I read it so quickly. Dumb Witness was a disappointment. I did not expect that it will be like this after reading so many amazing books by her. Murder of Roger Ackroyd had opened up a whole new world for me because I did not know books like this exist. Peril at End House is one of the best books by Agatha Christie if you're talking about a fun book by her. Then came June, and June was one of the most defining months of reading. Starting with Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. What an amazing, fulfilling, it fulfilled my stomach and it filled my heart experience. A 5 star. I love this book so much. Happy Place by Emily Henry is a top read of 2023. If He Had Been With Me was tragic, sad, and I was shocked at how much I love it because when I was seeing it go around on social media, I was like, I'm never gonna read this book ever because I don't care much, but now it's one of my most favorite books ever. 4 stars. The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager is so good. It's in my 3 to 4 star reads video because I genuinely enjoyed it. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, top reads of 2023. Fig Dates and Mooncakes in my 3 to 4 star video because I loved it so much, so adorable. Red, White and Royal Blue, all thanks to Chai for this because I would not read it if he had not pushed me to read it, and it was so good. A 5 star. It gave me such good feelings, and yes, the book is better than the movie. I'm sorry. Loveless by Alice Oseman was honestly disappointing because I wanted more from Alice Oseman than I got in this book, but that does not mean that it was a very warm, fuzzy book that taught me more about asexuality and aromantics. A 3.5 to 4 star read. Call Me By Your Name, the peach scene really made me cringe, but apart from that, the entire book, the writing style, oh my god, I'm so happy to own this edition of this book and I can't wait to reread it. 4 stars. Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood was again a disappointment, but not huge because it was a disappointment because I was just expecting a lot from the book, but if those expectations were not there, I actually really liked the book. 3.75 to 4 stars. I also read Trust Me by T.M. Logan, which I have given away because it was just one of the most cliche books that I've ever read. I guessed what is going to happen in the end in like 100 pages and it was just not a good experience. I did not even enjoy the writing style that much. 2 stars? 1.5 stars. Then came July and it started with me reading the Cruel Prince trilogy. What a disappointment. It was one of the worst books that I have read in 2023. Did not enjoy it at all. Every book ended in such a hype that I could not wait for the next book. But as I kept moving forward, I felt like the book had no point. It was saying so many things, but it had no point. I do see the potential though, and I love Jude so much, but it is what it is. The entire series is like a 2 to 2.5 star series. The American Boyfriend by Ivy Niao. It is a debut novel by her and I love this book so much and I love Ivy Niao so much. The first 100 pages, I did not know what is going on. I was like, yeah, good writing, let me just see what is going to happen, and then the next 100 pages, I was shocked to my core. I have not read so many plot twists at once ever, except for the book The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager, and everything made sense and so airtight, so amazing. One of the best books that I read. 5 stars. The Family Upstairs, I think this is when I did my first thriller vlog and I read this for that. I think it's there in my 3 to 4 star reads, so I'm not gonna say much more about this. Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell, which I think I gave 5 stars or 4.5 stars, but I'm going to bring it down to like 3.5 stars now because every time I think about this book, all I feel is sadness, and while the book is good, I do not like the themes in the book that much. It just did not make me feel good, and because stars are so personal, I get to reduce it. So 3.5 stars. So many trigger warnings you need for this book. And then we have Yellow Face by Rebecca F. Kuang, which was such an exceptional read. I have not read any book like this. Everything that it talked about when it comes to the publishing industry, oh my god, the villain's POV, so good, and the ending, amazing, delicious. 4.5 stars. The Last Word is one of my top reads for 2023. One of the best thrillers ever. Finlay Donovan is killing it as a 5-star. It's one of the best cozy mysteries that I have read. I did not even know that I like cozy mysteries this much, because when I read The Maid, I did not know that the genre is called cozy mystery. 5 stars. One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins is, I think, in my 3 to 4 star read, so I'm not gonna talk more about it, but I did like it. TGR is amazing. I'm a Fan by Sheena Patel was a shocker because it's a short book, and I did not know that this short book can contain so much, and I'm still shocked whenever I think back at this book. One of the best stories about obsession ever. And then I read the Six of Crows duology, top reads of 2023. What an exceptional series. I've talked way too much about it. I then went on another romance binge in August. Kicked off the month with Beach Rivals, which was very Emily Henry-esque, but I will say it was also very different. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I loved the main character in the book, all of the bookish vibes that I got. It is a definite must read if you like bookish rom-coms. 4 stars. Final Offer by Lauren Asher. What an amazing read. Sometimes I feel like giving it 5 stars, but I'm like, okay fine, it's not 5 stars, but I loved it so much. A Friends to Lovers second chance romance. It's a must read even if you don't read the entire series. 4 stars. In a New York Minute by Kate Spencer was so quick, so fast, so cozy. All of the New York vibes so amazing. 3.5 stars. Business or Pleasure by Rachel Lynn Solomon was so amazing on one hand, but on the other hand had way too much spice and smut in it, but it does make sense because of the title, so it is justified, but it had too much of it, if that makes any sense. So vulnerable and so warm too. It's definitely one of the best romances, adult romances I have read. 3.5 to 4 stars. Need Me by Tessa Bailey. As I said, I have such oscillating experiences with Tessa Bailey, and this one was the worst one. I hate the main male character so much, and the shit that he says and the shit that he does. Yuck. Okay, 1 star. I think this is the least rated star rated book. And then we have Kala by Colin Walsh, which is yet another new genre that I read in 2023, and it was so amazing. It's one of my most favorite books ever, and I want to hug it all the time. I loved the writing style and I loved the Irish backdrop. The only reason it's not a 5 star is because of the animal brutality in it, which I just can't stomach. 4.5 stars. The Locked Door by Frida McFadden, my first book by Frida McFadden. Amazing experience, but I realized I should never read blurbs of her books because it just gives away too much. So fast, so snacky, so thrilling, amazing dark vibes, gives you those chills. 3.5 stars or 3.75. History Is All You Left Me. Once again, thanks to Chai for recommending this book to me, by Adam Silvera, who is the author of They Both Die at the End. So much better than They Both Die in the End. I think it's there in my 3 to 4 star read video. Sandwich by Mieko Kawakami is there in my top reads of 2023. The reading list isn't there in my 3 to 4 star reads. What an amazing book. Jane Sally Diamond is a book that I forgot to put in my 3 to 4 star reads that you should read, by Liz Nugent. What an exceptional read. I have yet again not read anything like this apart from this book. One of the best psychological thrillers ever. The multiple perspectives, the ending, the main characters, Sally Diamond, everything about this book is so good. It's just not a 5 star because the information felt a little repetitive, but apart from that, what an amazing book. Must read. Masters of Death by Olivia Blake. What an amazing book yet again. One of the best found families. Loved the fantasy aspect, and Olivia Blake just writes out of the world things. 4.5 stars. Hello Beautiful by Anne Napolitano is one of my top reads for 2023, and We Are Inevitable by Gail Foreman, which was going to be an amazing YA romance, but it just got ruined a lot in a lot of places. 3 stars. Kicked off September with Summer of Broken Rules, an amazing summery YA romance, but more than that with the family and the games. What a fun, nice read. 4 stars. The Premonition by Banana Yoshimoto is a short book, and I was hoping to get the experience that I got with Miss I Sandwich or I'm a Fan, and while the writing style is very eerie and I really enjoyed it, the story gave me aches here and there. 3 stars. Behind the Net was such an amazing sports romance, my introduction to sports romance, and I enjoyed it so much. I love the main male character. It has multiple dual POV which gains extra points, 4 stars. Amazing Grace Adams was one of the worst books that I read in 2023. Did not make sense at all. Whenever I started a chapter, I got so connected to it, but as I moved forward, I got disconnected from what I was reading, and then I went into another world, and then that world was really good, but then I got disconnected again. I did not know what this book is trying to do. 2 stars. Carrie Soto is back, one of my top reads for 2023. The Center was this book, it hits me sometimes here and there when I'm just going about my day. Learn any language in 10 days, but there's a price to pay, and the price is crazy. I have never read a book like this. What an exceptional book, like Masters of Death, 4 stars. Price That Bind is the first book in a series, and so I am going to give it grace that it's okay if it's not the best book because too much information dumping, but I love the concept a lot. Greek mythology, 3 stars. Powerless, Stephen King's Misery, 4 stars. I really like the story and I love how Stephen King builds an atmosphere around you, but there's just something about his writing that is not sitting with me personally, and I don't know if I can ever rectify that. But what an amazing thriller. Western Lane by Chetna Maru was nominated for Booker Prize and worth it. One of the best books I read about growing up as a teenager, especially when you are dealing with grief and loss. 5 stars. The School of Good Mothers was an actually very amazing read, and I think I gave it 4 stars or 4.5 stars, but I'm gonna bring it down to like 3.75 because I have not thought about it at all after finishing the book. Then came October and I had decided that I'm gonna read a lot of warm, nice books along with a lot of thrillers. I started the month with the Little Bookshop of Lonely Hearts because I was sick and I wanted something cozy, and this one was so cozy. I don't remember how many stars I gave it, but I'm going to give it 3.5 stars. Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood has the Ali Hazelwood magic. I loved it so much more than Love Theoretically and as much as The Love Hypothesis. 4 to 4.5 stars. You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty is actually should be there in my 3 to 4 star reads. There is age gap in it and I don't usually like it, but this book made me like it, and I loved the main female character in this insanely much. Like, what an empowering woman. 4.5 stars. Then I started with my thriller vlog. We have None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell, which is a 4 star because yet again, same theme again and again. I'm bored of it. I loved the book a lot. The story, the ending, everything. It has a Lisa Jewell magic in it. Good Bad Girl by Alice Feeney has the Alice Feeney magic in it with the mystery where you're constantly guessing what is going on, but the ending was just not as satisfying. It's a 4.5 stars. You'd Look Better as a Ghost was one of the worst books that I read in 2022 because I don't know what the book was trying to do. I loved it so much, the concept and everything. It just did not fit. It did not sit. It did not stick with me. 2.5 stars. Wrong Place, Wrong Time, top reads of 2023. 5 Survive. It did not have the Good Girls Guide to Murder magic in it, but an amazing YA thriller of 4 stars. The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, I guessed the ending, but what an amazing bingeable thriller. 3.5 to 4 stars. Before I Go to Sleep was a little old school for me, but at the same time the ending was twisted and I loved it so much. 4 stars. My Roommate is a Vampire. After all of the thrillers, I decided to read cozy books and this was the first one I read. It's there in my 3 to 4 star video and I've talked about it way too much in that. The Dead Romantics is there in that video too. I loved it so much. The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman, I really enjoyed it when I was reading it, but I have yet again not thought about it at all after finishing it. 3.5 stars. Legends and Lattes is one of my top reads for 2023. Assistant to the Villain was such a fun, adorable book and I cannot wait for the second part. It's a fantasy romance and I love fantasy romance. After that came November and it's getting really dark right now, so I'm really sorry for the lighting. I actually read The Glutton or The Glutton, I don't know how you pronounce it, the month before, but I forgot to talk about it in that video, which is, oh, this is such an amazing book about a man who ate everything, literally everything, and it's based on a true story. What an exceptional read. I can't wait to talk more about it the whole year in 2024. Book Thief, top reads of 2023. This is my 3 to 4 star must read. Fourth Wing, not worth the hype, but such an enjoyable read. Loved the fantasy romance, loved the heat, loved the dragons. The Burnout by Sophie Kinsella opened up a new world for me. I can't wait to read all books by Sophie Kinsella, and it's in my 3 to 4 star video too. Penance by Liza Clark, I have a love-hate relationship with this because of how it made me feel, but also the writing is just exceptional. Krishna the Missing Person was a disappointment because I loved Wrong Place, Wrong Time so much, and this one is by the same author. either, but the entire book was definitely enjoyable. 3.5 stars. Big Swiss, what an amazing, shockingly amazing book. This was very icky, like very weird, but again I loved the ending so much. 4.5 stars. Idle Burning is an amazing book that you should read, especially in today's time, and a very meaningful read. It also has question and answers with the author in the back, which gives this book more meaning, and I genuinely enjoyed it so much. 4 stars. Then came December. In December I have read You Again, which is one of my most favorite romances, and it's there in my 3 to 4 star reads, which you must read. What a cozy book. If you like Harry Met Sally, if you liked Hum Tum when you were a kid, movies like that, you will love this book. And now I'm reading the Akatar series, and those are all of the books that I have read in December. That is it, you guys. I had such an amazing year. I don't know how many books I'll read next year. I'm gonna talk about that in another video, but what an amazing read, as you saw. Can't wait to see you guys in 2024 with more books. Hopefully not these many, because I want to read slow, but so many more amazing books. I love you guys so much. A very happy new year to you guys. Bye.